Hello, welcome to Levant TV Headlines. 4 French lawmakers have met with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad during a private trip to the war-torn country, despite a breakdown in diplomatic ties between Paris and Damascus. Kurdish and Christian militiamen battled Islamic State militants in northeastern Syria, where the extremist group recently abducted at least 90 Christians after overrunning a cluster of villages. A Bahraini court has again rejected a request for bail from opposition chief Sheikh Ali Salman, whose trial for allegedly seeking to overthrow the regime has sparked international concern. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have begun naval exercises in the Strait of Hormuz, just a few hundred kilometers away from Western vessels engaged in the fight against the Islamic State. And FIFA Secretary General Jérôme Valcke said there were still problems with conditions of migrant workers building stadiums for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, but he was very happy with steps taken by the country. And now let's have a look at top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. The Egypt Independent leads reporting that Egypt's cabinet has decided to take the necessary measures to resume the Premier Football League after ending the 40-day mourning moratorium following a Cairo stadium rampage that left dozens dead. The paper also reports that London-based newspaper Al-Hayathas said that Egypt is seeking approval on its proposal to form a counter-terrorism unified Arab military unit during the summit it will host in March. From the Lebanon, the Daily Star leads reporting that Progressive Socialist Party leader Walid Jumblat criticized reports warning that Syria-based ISIS and the al-Nusra Front militants were gearing up for a major offensive against Lebanon. The paper also reports that 7 fire trucks managed to douse a massive blaze that broke out in the basement of a 16-story uninhabited building in the Beirut neighborhood of Z'Al-Blat. From the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that at least 5 drones flew over the Tour Eiffel, the US Embassy, and other Paris landmarks on Monday night, raising tensions in France as to who was operating the latest drones. The paper also reports that Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has granted sweeping powers to authorities to crack down on individuals or groups deemed as threats to national security, an anti-terrorism law announced on Tuesday. And now UK papers. The Independent leads Middle East news reporting that ISIS militants have reportedly ransacked Mosul Library in Iraq, burning over 100,000 rare manuscripts and documents spanning centuries of human learning. Initial reports said approximately 8,000 books were destroyed by the extremist group. The Guardian leads Middle East news section reporting that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has turned down an invitation to meet US Senate Democrats next week during his visit to Washington, saying the session could compound to misperception of partisanship surrounding his trip. Angering the White House and Democrats, Netanyahu accepted an invitation from Republican leaders to address a joint meeting of Congress on the 3rd of March and speak about Iran. The Telegraph leads Middle East news section reporting that a Saudi Arabian court has sentenced a man to death for apostasy after he filmed himself tearing up a copy of the Quran, a new test case for the country's human rights record, just as its most powerful rising prince was visiting Downing Street. The man in this case has the right to appeal and can also avoid the penalty by repenting. And now international papers. From China, the Global Times reports that Iran's President Hassan Rouhani says the outcome of a potential nuclear deal between Iran and the world powers over Tehran's nuclear issue should be removed of oppressive and illegal sanctions against the country. And finally, from Berlin, the Deutsche Welle reports that Israeli police have launched an investigation into an arson attack on a mosque in the West Bank after a burning object was reportedly thrown through the windows of the village's mosque overnight, setting it on fire. Local residents suspected that radical Israelis were behind the fire. For more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching and bye for now.